everyone. Happy Sunday and welcome to week 10 of our grade 9 e-learning business course, November 6th to the 10th. As we move through into November, you now have all received your midterm marks. So that was emailed to you on Friday, Thursday or Friday of last week. So just make sure you've checked your inbox and that you have that so you know what to expect for your report cards coming out next week. We're into Unit 2 now, Online Ethics and Social Media Communications, and you were all working hard on your digital audit last week where you were sort of assessing your use of social media sorry, and how it might impact your overall quality of life and also academic progress. We're going to continue the conversation around ethics this week, but we're going to flip it from reflecting on your own internalized ethics and your own ethics within your own life. And we're going to look at it critically from a business perspective. So the very first thing on the agenda this week is you have a slide deck lesson to go through. So just like all slide deck lessons in this class, you're expected to go through the slides, make notes, watch the videos, read the articles, etc. Just a special note that if any of the videos that I've linked into these lessons don't work for you, we've been having some issues. Some students can see them, some students can't. Just email me and I'll send you the link if you can't see it, okay? So you're going to go through and start reflecting on the concept of corporate social responsibility, which is the idea that businesses have a responsibility to make ethical choices in the world and to give to the world more than they take from the world. And this definitely doesn't happen. And we're going to be looking at some different businesses this week that perhaps are not as ethical as they should be. So we're going to look critically at, well, what is business ethics in the first place? Understanding the line and how ethics is gray in many areas, especially in business, and sort of just the idea of making you think critically. So we've got an example right here that will make you perhaps think critically about that. The definition of corporate social responsibility and how it might take form and shape in other in everyday ways in businesses. Again, there are videos embedded throughout the lesson to make sure that you watch those. Okay. And with the videos, it's just there to give you context. There's also an article here as it pertains to ensuring that businesses provide safe working environments for their employees, and that many businesses do actually operate overseas. We call this outsourcing, and then sometimes they do this because they can pay their workers less, and how unethical this is, and what companies are maybe engaging in these types of practices. Okay, so again, just to make you start thinking critically, here's another video for you there. And then you're going to go through and read a little bit more about how helpful it is to actually be and make ethical business practice decisions, and that it can actually increase your overall profit in the long term if you are a business that stands by ethical choices. Then we look at the concept of greenwashing, which is essentially the idea that companies will sometimes say that they're ethical, but actually they're not. There's a great video here that expands on this, looking critically at Fiji Water as an example of a company that does greenwash and how insidious it is in their advertising. And then you have an activity to do based on what you've learned from this lesson. Okay, so knowing that, using the example as Fiji Water as an example of a company that uses some, more shady business practices, I want you now to research a company that you feel has not been ethical, now that you can see sort of what makes an ethical company and not socially responsible in some way. When you determine what company you're going to do, you're going to put your name in this class slide deck. So this is an editable slide deck for the students. Every student can pop into the slide deck and edit the slide deck. Okay, so you're going to choose a slide. So you're going to take a slide. This is the task itself. So let's say this is your slide. You're going to put your name in here. Okay, and then the company. Okay, and then you're going to fill in what's expected of you for the task. Okay, you're going to choose one company per student. So again, if you go into the slide deck and another student has chosen that company, you can no longer do that company. So choose a different company that's unethical. And you're going to provide the following information on your slide. You're going to tell us about the company. What does this company do that you feel is unethical? When did this occur? Where did this take place? How did this decision impact other people? And then anything else interesting or relevant to this particular unethical practice. Okay, so it should be fun, and we'll be able to see sort of a class set of examples after it's done of businesses that we have deemed as unethical. Okay, so this is what you're working on for Monday's class, and this is the unethical class slide deck linked in here. Okay, that's due on Monday, November 13th, as always, at 8 a.m. Okay, oops, at 8 a.m. Okay. When you're done that, obviously the goal is to get that done on Monday's class. You're then going to go and update your website. Okay. So now that we've learned a little bit about corporate social responsibility and you've all received a website mark, we're now into term 2. And in term 2, you're going to be doing other things to your website. You're going to be making changes and adding to your business. And one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to add a tab, a section for your business and how your business is giving back to the society. So you're going to add a charitable or socially conscious component to your business. And so your task is to create a new tab for your website called Giving Back. And in this section, you're going to tell us what it is you do specifically to give back to your community, the planet, etc. So you want to make this relevant to your business. For example, if you are a cafe in a local community, you might decide to, have an affiliation with a local food bank, and make sure that you're always, you have a food bank program where you're giving, nourishing food to people within your community that maybe don't have access to food on a regular basis. So you want to make your charitable affiliation or how you give back to the world relevant to what your business is doing and to obviously make it authentic. So you want to think about the type of business that you're running and what would be authentic in a way to give back to the people, planet, or profit, people, planet, and to obviously facilitate the development of life in and around your communities. Okay. So, for example, do you support specific charities or causes? Try to pick a cause that makes sense for your company and ties into your overall brand vision. Then on this slide or this tab, you're going to tell us what you do to support this cause. Do you donate a percentage of your profits? Why is this cause important to your business, etc.? And then on this tab, you're also going to create an event to support this particular cause. So in this section, you'll tell us all about the event. So where is it going to be? When is it going to be? Who's invited? When will it take place? And then how does this particular event support your cause for your business? You're going to create a flyer. Okay. And again, I do recommend using Canva, but make sure when you're using Canva, you're creating an account outside of the Halton District School Board, and you're always using free templates. There are hundreds of free templates on Canva, but sometimes they are not free, and I don't obviously want you paying for them. Okay. So use any free template that you would like and create a flyer to advertise this particular event. And when you're done, you're going to upload that flyer to your website. Okay. And you're going to post it in that section, the giving back section of your website. When you are done, this is really important. You're going to republish your website. Okay. So the reason you do this is because as you make changes to your website, if you don't republish it, I actually can't see those changes. So it is important that you do that. Okay. So that is the assignment for Tuesday's class. Okay, so I gave you Wednesday to work on both the tasks from Monday and Tuesday because these tasks are due on Tuesday. I'm sorry, on Monday of next week. So Monday, November 13th at 8 a.m. Okay, so that's your tasks for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then we go into the next assignment, which is how to write a professional letter. Now, something important to acknowledge is that this letter is due next Wednesday, November 15th by 8 a.m. instead of Monday. The reason for this is because we actually have quite a few things that are going on this week in this class, and I want you to have enough time, okay? So again, I would front load the week with these assignments and make sure you try to wrap those up by Wednesday, but acknowledging that you do have Thursday and Friday to work on the letter, and you also have Monday, Tuesday of next week to work on the letter. Okay, so with that in mind, just try to balance your time, knowing that your website update as well as this unethical business activity is due on Monday, November 13th at 8 a.m. Okay, so you're going to go through the slide deck as to how to write a professional business letter. And it just gives you some examples as to how to do this. And you yourself are going to be writing your own letter as well. Okay, so go through a lesson, and you're going to look at sort of what's important in a letter, making sure that there is, a company name and address, the date, the receiver's name, the salutation, how it should physically look as well. That formatting really matters. If you were sending an envelope, this is what you would do as well. Many students have never actually had to send a letter before, so it's just something kind of fun to think about. And what you're going to do is you are actually going to write a letter, so a response to a customer that is complaining about your business. Companies have to do this all the time. And of course, they have to do it in a way that is professional. How we deal with them in business really matters. Okay. So you're going to use professional letter writing, formatting, and language. Things to note is make sure that you have an address heading, a salutation. Make sure before you conclude, you write something like yours truly, in kindness, sincerely, etc. Make sure you're proofreading, and when you're done, you're going to upload it to Dropbox. So the assignment is linked in the slide deck, but it's also in Dropbox, and it's also in the agenda. Okay, and so this is what you're going to do. So in this case, you are the manager of Go Transit, and you have received this email from a dissatisfied customer. So you're going to start by reading the letter that was written to you by this dissatisfied customer. Okay, you're going to go through the letter. Then you're going to write a letter back in the form of an email, but you're going to be preparing it in a Google document. Okay. So you're going to look at the situation, okay, and it's going to give you a little bit of information about what you're going to include, right? So after reading the email, you look into the situation. The train on that day was overloaded, and Joseph was not the only customer who was denied a ride. You decide that Mr. Wong should receive a full refund for his ticket. Write an email to Mr. Wong, create this email in a Google document, share it with me, and submit it to Dropbox as a link when done. Okay, so you have to include the following in your letter. This is your checklist. You're pleased that he enjoyed good service in the past. You're really sorry that this mishap occurred and that you were unable to predict the large volume of travelers that day. So there are things I want to see actually included within the body of your letter so that you can practice sort of how you would professionally write to someone who's complaining about your business. Okay. And then you have to also prepare a check for his ticket. So a check for his ticket has been included with the letter or attach a voucher. So you have to either choose between whether you're going to include a check for the refund or a voucher that he can use in the future. And you have to make that decision yourself. Okay. So essentially, like, tell Mr. Wong that he's going to receive some other kind of benefit, okay, for his trouble. All right, so you're going to decide how you're going to do that, and then whichever you prefer, you're going to design that and just include it in the Google document at the end, like a sort of a fake check or a fake voucher. You can create that on like a Google Draw or whatever works for you, okay? So consider ways to take this assignment to a level 4 level. Then making sure that Mr. Wong uses Go Transit again, right? So we want to make sure that he is inspired to use Go Transit again. And that's it, okay? So when you go to our class, on Brightspace, I'm so sorry. You are going to click on Assessments and Dropbox to locate where you're going to be writing this letter. And if you scroll down to Unit 2, you'll see Professional Business Letter, the Customer Complaint. This is the Dropbox for that assignment. And remember that you do have, like, I assigned this to you on Thursday of this week, but you do have until next Wednesday to complete this assignment. And when you get your agenda next week, you'll have Monday and Tuesday to continue working on this assignment. So I've given you more time into next week, which I know is maybe going to throw you off a little bit because you're so used to everything being due on the Monday. But just because we happen to have a pretty heavy week this week, I'm trying to move the course along. I wanted to spread out those deadlines for you. Okay. So that's it. So you've got the lesson on business ethics, making sure you're watching those videos and reading those articles. Then you're going to complete the Unethical Companies class slideshow of shady business practices. You're going to update your website with a charitable side tab into your website, including the event that you're going to host for your social business practices. And both of those elements are due on Monday at 8 a.m. on November 13th. Then you're going to start working on the professional business letter, writing a professional response to a customer complaint for Go Transit. Don't forget to do your attendance activity. Okay, that's that Google form linked in here. As always, if you have any questions, just send me an email, no problem. We can pop into a Google Meet. Otherwise, I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you online.